Hi, Strathcona County. It's Rod Frank, your mayor. And we're just talking more about our coronavirus response, our plan to deal with the pandemic. And we're talking to different stakeholders. And it's my pleasure today to introduce Tim and Sam. I've known Tim for a long time. Through sports, I think we probably first met. Our sons played hockey together, then we played football together, our sons. And Tim is an entrepreneur, but also he's a huge community builder. Tim has coached, I don't know, I'm going to guess probably over 50 football teams alone. And he's done sometimes two or three at a time. But Tim, why don't you just introduce yourself a little bit and then also what your background is? I know you're an entrepreneur, and also then introduce Sam.
Yeah, thanks, Rod. I've lived in Strathcona County most of my life. I moved away to Calgary and to BC to pursue sports things. When I came back, I started a call center business, and we kind of focused on emergency preparedness. And I've been doing that for about 12 years now. A lot of our stuff is heavily dependent upon technology, and so we looked for partners with the same sort of mindset as our company, which is it's all about cooperation and co-opetition, I guess. So when we kind of vetted different companies to look at around Sherwood Park and Strathcona County, we found Sam Benkin's company, Punchcard, and what we've been able to achieve in a relatively quick amount of time is a result of our shared vision on pretty much whatever we work on. So Punchcard's been around for quite a few years, and a guy that should also be mentioned because he's sort of the guy in the back end is his partner Eston. But I can't say enough good things about these guys. They've been great. They put up with my crazy ideas of trying to save the world or whatever we're doing.
Tim is an idea man, definitely.
And he's just I completely trust him. And he bought into the idea of mutual aid so fast on Saturday. I'm grateful.
Okay, hey Sam, why don't you talk a little bit about your background? You're an entrepreneur too, also.
Yeah. Thanks, Rob. And Tim, thanks for that introduction. Few people have that way in terms of introducing other folks like you do, but getting to work with Tim on this over the past week has been, I think, really, really important for me. Like, if I'm thinking about this from a personal values perspective, supporting our community, supporting the people around us to be stronger, better. This nature of mutual aid in terms of businesses supporting other businesses throughout this crisis, I think is really important. If I think about why we started coming up with COVID resources on the COVID continuity website in the first place, was that we have a responsibility to our staff, and we recognize that the people that we work with, in terms of our customers, our partners, our competitors, also have a responsibility to keep their staff moving in this crisis. We can't let the economy slow down. We just can't, especially here in Alberta with everything that's been happening over the past quarter, year and more. We just can't afford to let our businesses slow down. And so that was really when Tim reached out to me to say, how do we keep business going? How do we keep entrepreneurs supported? And we see a lot of resources out there around, hand washing and health-oriented resources. Very, very important. We're starting to see a lot more resources in terms of mental health. Equally important. What we've tried to focus on is business health more than anything else in terms of business continuity planning, and as well some of the other elements that we think may be required for business owners, business leaders, business decision makers to keep things moving.
Okay, well that's really interesting. Because we are talking about, you're right, Sam, all the different ways where we can lend a hand to stop the spread. And one of them is helping your neighbor. And this is a form of helping your neighbor. But you're both business owners. We're led to expect that business is super competitive. But Tim used an interesting term. You called it co-opetition, if I heard that right. So you are buying into our plan to help others. I would have thought that your first thoughts would be, you know what, I got to save my business. I got to keep as many people employed as I can. I got to keep my cash flow going. But you guys have reached out. So why don't you talk about your mindset there, Tim and Sam about why you're cooperating and why you're creating these resources for possibly your competitors and also nonprofits too?
Well, I mean, we're better together, and if we don't work together, if my business is strong and my neighbor's isn't, then what am I doing? For us, it has to be a global thought process. We're not trying to save the world, and I did say that when we were talking later. But what we're trying to do is just help create healthy businesses right across the board. And two of our first partners were actually competitors. One out of North Carolina, and I believe one across somewhere in Edmonton. But again, healthy competition creates value for everyone. So we had that mindset right from the beginning. It's not about us. It's certainly about individuals being safe and doing all those things that Sam had mentioned before, keeping healthy and things like that. But as far as one of our biggest partners is a company out of North Carolina that's got the largest call center in the southern United States. That's my competition. Don't care. We gotta get the word out. We gotta get the information out, and we do it on a state, provincial, local perspective. And so we're actually looking for champions all over North America. We have some champions in Toronto. We have some champions in Calgary and St. Albert and Edmonton. And like, as I mentioned before, North Carolina and Wisconsin. And so we just want to get the information out and make sure that business is healthy so that we can return to business when this pandemic's over. Hope that answered your question.
Yeah, that's an amazing.
Now, Tim, I think from that word champion is so very, very important when we're talking about the crisis right now. When we're thinking about the kindness that's going to be required over the next little while, I mean, we're all having conversations with our lenders, with our vendors, with our customers in terms of making sure that cash is still moving. And Rod, you brought up cash flow. We know that cash is important, 100%. But it's going to take a degree of kindness for all of us. And it's not that competition isn't valuable, and it's not that our competitors won't be our competitors in a couple of weeks. But today we really do need to be focusing on how do we make sure that we keep the community strong. And businesses are such an incredibly important component of our community that both Tim and I feel pretty strongly about that. And if we give away resources, like any sort of sharing, it just means that we're stronger together.
Right on. Great perspective.
I was going to add to that, Rod. Sorry, it's the one thing the website that we built basically Saturday night, and I think we rolled it out Sunday morning at like 1:30 in the morning or whatever. Every single thing on covidcontinuity.com is free to download in Word if we could have it, or links. There's no requirement for an email address, a cell phone. We don't care who downloads it. We just want to get it in the hands of people as fast as we possibly can. And so I guess this is a little bit of promotion for that website. We're looking for business leaders with acumen that we don't have, because fundamentally we realize we're smart enough to know we're not smart enough. There's lots of people out there with really good, valuable information that are more than likely willing to share. So I just wanted to maybe put a little plug in for that website, that anybody can go there and take whatever they want. And if they choose to contribute, great. If they don't, that's fine too.
Well, gentlemen, amazing perspective that you see beyond just your own company to the wider economy and how we all got to keep it functioning in these trying times. So I'm a small business owner. I'm a medium-sized business owner. I'm a nonprofit. I need help. What's going to be on your website? What am I going to find there? Why should I go there?
Well, there's a number of different resources that we pulled together. We've tried to organize it in a way that we think is logical. Feedback is always appreciated, but we've got resources for helping organizations with moving towards remote work. We understand that this is part of the new world. The new way of work, or new normal, is going to be remote. So how can we move quickly to be working with our customers, working with our staff, working with our partners from a remote perspective? Also, we have a number of templates oriented around business continuity planning. The team at CommAlert has this is an area of expertise that they bring to bear, and when you do this professionally, you kind of know how important it is to have a plan, and so being able to have some of those resources in play has been really, really valuable. We're also starting to roll out some resources around things like cash flow, things like customer engagement, things like policies and procedures, elements that most organizations don't necessarily have in place because nobody's really been through a worldwide pandemic before. And so we recognize that these templates are going to become valuable. We're releasing them out to the public. I think our only request is that if people use them to get some feedback on it and to take off the CommAlert logo if you're using the continuity planning toolset and make it your own. The other thing that we're asking is that people don't resell them, right? So at the end of the day, this is meant to be free for business leaders to be able to get going. And making them free means that we don't necessarily want people to be taking them and commercializing them in order to extract value. There's been so much of that happening out there already. We're just trying to be stronger together.
Excellent. Okay, Tim and Sam, these are two great examples of community builders, and they're from our entrepreneurship, small, medium-sized business stakeholder community. Thank you very much. Can you just plug that website one more time?
Sam, go ahead.
So the website's covidcontinuity.com.
Okay.
And so, yeah, it like Tim said earlier, it's free for use, and it's COVID continuity. If you put that into Google, even if you misspell it, you should be able to find it today.
Beautiful. Okay, well.
And before you reached out to us, and I just wanted to make a note that we really appreciate you doing that. You're legitimizing what we're doing, so thank you.
Yeah. Okay, well, we're all fighting the pandemic together, and also I just want to direct people to strathcona.ca/COVID-19 for the latest information. That is, we're plugged right into Alberta Health, and that is a really good source of truth of what's going on here. Thank you, gentlemen. Have a great morning. I know you got to get back to work. Thanks for community building.